So a few weeks back I made a sort of a funny little intro clip that I shared with a few friends, and Mike really wanted me to use it on one of my videos, so here you go, Mike. So Mike, how would you describe your first day and a half at Opeongo?
Fuck you, you fucking asshole. You lied to me. Fucking awesome.
Driving up the road to the Shaw Lake access point, and the fall colors are definitely at peak. It's a really nice little road. So we've arrived at the Shaw Lake access point. This is a farm lake that we just took the gear out of the truck. Little parking lot's over there, and so it's the Thanksgiving long weekend, and we're just gonna do a quick little two-nighter on Booth Lake, because trout season is over, so we're looking for a lake that has something besides trout. So it has smallmouth bass and pike, and so we just got two quick portages and a little paddling in the rain today, and then we're gonna set up camp on Booth. So we're just putting off from Farm Lake. It's just, to me, there's pike and bass, and I think in every lake. Just there's farm, kitty, and then we're already on Booth. Might fish some good looking spots, throw a few lines, and we're expecting it to be rain the whole time until we get to our campsite. The afternoon it's supposed to stop, and tomorrow's supposed to be decent. Should pass what?
Should have asked if one of them was Larry High.
Yeah, it's not a sunny day. The colors don't pop as much when it's gray like this, like, especially in the camera.
They're still nice.
Oh no, they're nice to us, but I mean in the camera, yeah, it won't pop.
I mentioned when I was recording before, I'm like, yeah, it's probably not doing it justice right now, but
yeah.
That fucking orange mountain over there.
Yeah. For fishies. Looks like there's a little, I don't know if it's a ranger cabin or if it's a cabin that can be rented right down Farm Lake. And Mark says he just saw the portage sign, so it looks like it's right at the end of Farm Lake. Guessing this. Yeah, looks like there's a portage right here. It's probably our 90 meter to Kitty Lake. fishing rods are making a ton of noise. Trying to fix that for the long portage. This one's just a 90 meter. The next one from Kitty to Booth is closer to 700. So the first portage is done. Kitty Lake is tiny. We'll probably either just troll it or make a few casts in the middle of it there, and then we're moving on to the portage to Booth. No success at our first fishing spot on Kitty Lake. It's a nice little channel, eh? Portage has got to be here because we can't get through this. There's a little place on going up on the right hand side here. So the sign says it's a 550, it just says it's a 650. Either way, we're on it now. And it's a surprisingly nice day. I think it's because there's very little wind. Because it's around 10 degrees right now. I think maybe a degree or two higher. But, you know, drizzling and rainy. But we're not cold at all. So far so good. So we're on Booth Lake right now, and if I talk loud enough, you'll be able to hear me in Marc's video. Well, it's a little dark and misty, but it looks really nice. So we passed a group of 3 guys that are coming into Booth for the weekend too, and they said they've never caught anything on farm or kitty, and they pretty much only catch pike on Booth, they say, which is fine by us because that's what's in season right now. So neither of us has a ton of pike fishing experience, but we both caught 3 or 4 pike in the past before. I don't know. They said there's a campsite there. I don't have a map, so I can't unlock my phone through the plastic. Yeah, I did, but I couldn't unlock it through the plastic. Yeah, that's the way I remember. Is we just follow the right-hand side the whole way. Even in this dark, rainy weather, you can really tell this is a beautiful lake. All the campsites look like they have nice put-ins. Usually beaches in the front. It's a nice size too. Looks really, really nice. So I was just, I think Marc stopped for a smoke break or something, and I was just reeling in my my trolling spoon, and I got the first catch of the trip. 2 clams. So we We're starting to set up camp here on Booth Lake. Got a nice little, there's a rocky beach, but there's a nice little sand section right here, so you don't have to scratch up the boats. And then some stairs that lead up. Nice open campsite. So for now, because it's still drizzling a little bit, we just set up a tarp, put it at, so the prevailing wind should be coming basically the way that we set it up to block it. And there's plenty of space to put up our hammocks. So this is where we're going to be for 2 nights. So we just finished setting up our hammocks, and the wind really kicked up and it started raining again. So we're behind the tarp here, blocking as much wind as we can. So instead of standing behind the wind tarp for the next couple hours, these campsites are linked, and the next campsite over goes straight to a portage trail. So we're just gonna walk the portage trail without any gear and see what's on the other side. Oh, it's over that way?
Yeah, it's like right here.
Okay. So this is the second campsite that's linked to ours. Very similar. Nice little staircase leading up to it. So just following the little portage trail up, and obviously a tree came out here, and this tree is not far behind it. See, it's just a few roots holding it on. Oh yeah.
There's definitely
Oh, you know, there's a Tatler cabin that way.
Okay.
So maybe there's a road that goes all the way. So walking along the portage trail, we have Marc, who is filming a wall, which I guess I'll show you. It's like an old log cabin of some sort. In sandals.
Yeah, it's sandals. Wide open though, super clear. Nice little lake.
So we just finished supper. The wind has calmed down a little bit, but it's Canadian Thanksgiving, so the days do not last long. Got a fire going, collected a bunch of dead standing and driftwood, so we're good for the next couple days on wood. So we're gonna chill by the fire for a bit. Gonna be probably an early night. So it's day 2. Just got down to about freezing, maybe -1 last night. Man, the nights are long. I think we slept about 11.5 hours before there was any daylight. Didn't sleep the whole time, but very comfortable though, super warm. So anyway, we had breakfast, and now we're just gonna go explore some fishing. I'll probably do a few portages and go up the Opiongo River and try that for fishing too. So it's been a little bit frustrating. We're in this little bay, and there's tons of pike here, ranging from a small pike to pretty good size. Both me and Mark were getting tons of followers. They just don't want to commit. I've been having the most followers, if you will, on worm baits, but one of them, only one good sized one, actually put it in his mouth. He spit it faster than I could react. I was watching him do it. Still spit it like instantly. Tried a few different rappels. Right now I'm trying this brook trout colored, I think it's a scatter wrap. And when I switched to this, I got first 3 casts, 3 followers, and I actually had one big pike take the whole thing in his mouth. Same thing, spat it out without any of the trebles even touching him. So no luck yet. So finally got the first strike. I switched to this little black and blue sort of plastic creature imitation, and first cast, huge tug, snapped the line instantly. So I'm going to put a leader on because these are pike, obviously, but it was the first thing that he actually committed to. So I have one more of those plastics left, so hopefully they'll take it again. So gave up on that fishing spot, and now we're going to go into the Opiongo River. Trying our luck there. So doing the first portage up the Opiongo River. It's a 750, I think it is. We're gonna get to the end of this one. We have to do 3 portages to get to the next spot on the map that's marked as having pike. So we're gonna finish this portage, and the river right before we got to the portage was really shallow and rocky. So if the whole thing's shallow and rocky, we might just give up and go back to Booth Lake. But we shall see. So 1 portage down, paddle a little bit of the river here. Then we have two small portages, one after the other. This portage goes into the woods and then joins up with a little, looks like an ATV trail or maybe a logging road. But there's no markings at all at the beginning of it to tell you like which direction the portage goes and stuff like that. So I left a little thing that I have on my life jacket hanging from a tree, so if on the way back it's more visible. This end had portage markers, just the other one I guess there fell off the tree.
What did you do to get where you're going?
Yeah, exactly. So just right after the first portage, it narrows up, and I'm already beached on some rocks here. Looks like we'd basically have to wade through this to keep going. And like Mark just said, it's one thing when you're traveling and you have to get to the next lake. We're just going up this to look for fishing spots. And it's, the water's freezing cold, and the sky's getting dark and the winds are kicking up, so don't think it's really worth it. So we're probably just going to turn around and go back to Booth Lake. to camp for lunch. There's a channel right there that goes between the north and the south side of the lake. And as we're getting close to our campsite, all the wind is just whipping through there. And I mean, it looks really calm now, but when you're out there, there were some decent waves and some decent gusts. So Marc's just filling the platypus bag with water, and then we're gonna have some lunch. So when we left that spot where we were seeing the pike and earlier today, we passed by some guys that were fishing right before the Opiago River. And you know, as we usually do when you pass somebody else in the canoe, you start talking about how the fishing is going and what spots and stuff. So we told them about the spot where we had been seeing the fish, and when we were on our way back, they were actually fishing that spot, and they caught a 15-pound pike, but the guy said he kind of foul hooked it. Still, they were having the same problem. They were seeing the fish, but they weren't getting to bite in general. So it's Monday morning. Last night wasn't nearly as cold as the first night, but crazy storm came through. Like pretty insane winds, and yesterday, like our first day, the wind was coming from up the lake. Yesterday the wind was coming from this direction, basically from the south. So one nice thing about these tarps, in the middle of the night when the huge storm came through, it was blowing from this direction, and in the middle of the night it started blowing from the other one. Nice thing about these tarps is you can button down the doors completely with these snaps. And so all I had to do in the middle of the night, get out of my hammock, and I snapped up this door, which is currently open, how I usually get into the hammock. So locked that up, stopped the tarp from flapping in the wind, and slept through the rest of the night. So it's a much warmer morning today. Marc's starting to pack up his gear. We're gonna pack things up and head on out. Very happy that it's a calm morning. If the winds would have stayed like they were yesterday afternoon, this channel would have been almost impossible to paddle. Nice calm morning. Be an easy paddle back to the trough. So I forgot to mention that the wind was so strong last night, it actually flipped my canoe. I had put it upside down, flipped it upside right, and slid it under Marc's canoe, which was upside down. So my pack boat was full of water this morning, and the seat was wet. Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
More with that soft kitty, warm kitty.
Last portage of the year. This is going to be the 90 meter between kitty and farm. So this will probably be the last clip of the trip. So trip's over. Last little paddle for 2019. That's it for this year.